sounds cheesy to say or hear the phrase, update your style and boost your confidence. When I hear it in that context, it just feels out of place. And I cringe a little because I think it can sometimes be overused in marketing. It's hard to give a one phrase ad without any story or example behind it. When you set up the story, someone that wants that feeling or that extra boost of confidence, you can really start imagining it for yourself. And in the end, the best way to understand it is to actually have experienced it, to feel it. And I'm sure when you hear the promise of gaining confidence from a product or a service that tells you, quote unquote, if you do this one thing for 7 days, you'll find an increased confidence. You start to think, well, how do I know that my confidence has increased? How do you measure this? How do I know I'm there? And how does it even happen? Today, I want to take this opportunity to share with you what increased confidence looks like because it can totally be different for everyone. But overall, increased confidence means showing up in your life differently, different energy levels, responses that you have to others, responses others have towards you, more positive attention from your peers, increased perception towards yourself, and so much more. In each scenario, I'm going to be sharing a story that will help you connect the dots and think about all the ways that confidence shows up in your life, from changing your style or updating your look or just refreshing it in general. The first one I want to start with is positive attention. And this is pretty much a given. I mean, if you're changing up your look and colors and styles, yes, you're going to get more attention where you're at. So, for example, when you're dating and you're seeking attraction from potential partners, whether you want to admit it or not, it feels good to have someone do like a double take on you as you walk by, knowing that whatever look or energy that you're giving off is attracting other people and getting that attention feels so good. To be seen and noticed in an everyday situation can make your day. It can even make you connect with new people. It can start conversations, and you can have new moments with people that you did not ever notice before. So, either way, you feel this elevated emotion of happiness by receiving this positive attention from someone you saw or someone that you briefly met or were just standing in line with. I had a client who had gained some weight and he was not feeling the best about his wardrobe. His shirts and his pants were just feeling too tight, and every time he put something on, he was constantly reminded that he had gained weight. And he decided that he didn't want to feel bad about that anymore. He wasn't going to be reminded again every time he sat down and his pants felt tight. He didn't want to be reminded oh my gosh, I don't even know what to eat. Do I need to go work out instead? He couldn't concentrate on work. And so he kind of wanted an instant result. And I know an instant result it has a bad connotation with it. But when you think of an instant result with style, it's really easy getting a new outfit and feeling really good in it. You don't have to lose weight to feel good in your body and the clothing that you're wearing. And he knew that. He wanted that instant result of okay, he knew even if he was going to go on a diet and change the way that he was going to work out, he wanted to just feel good right now. And that meant buying some clothes that fit well and that didn't make him think about his weight anymore. So he was ready to do that. He wanted to look and feel his best right now. So after shopping together, he got some great statement pieces that he would have never picked out for himself, even before. His style had changed. He knew that he wanted to show up differently. And he told me after wearing some of the clothing that he bought, he was at Starbucks waiting in line. He was wearing this white denim jacket by All Saints, which if you haven't checked out All Saints, they have some great edgy pieces. I wish I had a better way of describing this jacket, but it was very cool. It wasn't something that just anyone could pull off because a white denim jacket is a statement piece. It stands out. So he said he was just standing in line, waiting for his coffee, going about his day, and a woman next to him started a conversation with him. He said that had never happened before. He never got attention for women, and he didn't even know what to do. He was good with the conversation and everything, but by the end of it, he realized, oh my gosh, I could have asked her for a number. I could have asked if she wanted to sit down for coffee. He was kind of caught off guard by the attention he got. So he said that now moving forward, he still gets people talking to him and he knows what to do differently. But at that moment, he said it just felt so good to be noticed. That confidence boost that you get from new clothing, it attracts other people, but it also helps you open up and want to give back that energy and positivity and talk to others. And I love this story because it goes to show how much we get caught up in weight gain or our body, and it's not a negative thing. Our body is such a beautiful thing that we get to live in, and it takes us throughout our day, and you can own your life wherever you are at. And the quicker that you accept and step into loving yourself, the more that you will be able to do for yourself in your self-care routine to boost your confidence. Number 2, wanting to go out again. I don't know how many times I have heard clients stuck in their pandemic outfits and not going out. So when they get invited out, they just don't do it. Whether it's wine or lunch or brunch, they don't go out because they don't have anything to wear. It's like, well, if I can't wear leggings, then what other option do I have to work with? So not having clothing that you like or clothing that fits well can stop you from having a social circle, from going out, from hanging out with friends, from seeing families, from dating, even if you want to start dating. So you can't give off the best of you if you're thinking your shirt doesn't feel good and it's something that's so old and it doesn't resonate with you anymore. You're constantly focused on the piece that you're wearing instead of focusing on the people around you. There's just so many ways that you can get stuck in wearing clothing from the past that isn't working for you, that gets you stuck in your life and where you're at right now as well. I worked with a client who wanted to start having a life again, and she was in her mid-20s, and she didn't know, she wasn't aware that she was doing it, but she started realizing that as her friends started asking her to go out for drinks and do things, she stopped herself almost every time. She'd say yes, and then close to the day of going out, she would cancel because she was like, I don't even know what to wear going out. I don't feel good going out. But she then decided that she was ready to be out in the world again. And she knew that she had to find clothing that felt fun and that felt cute. She had accumulated a ton of sweaters because she was working from home, and sweaters were her thing at the moment. Like most people, it was sweaters and leggings, but she didn't know what going out clothes looked like. And that's why she found me as her personal shopper to help her find what that meant. Because you can't, if you're at that extreme where you're in t-shirt and jeans or sweaters and leggings, it is really confusing when you go to a store. There's so many styles and so many options to choose from. It's what am I going to feel good in? And what feels maybe too much? What feels it's too casual? What's that good in between? I find that that's a question that people ask the most. What's that good in between where I don't feel I'm overdressed, or in big statement pieces that just don't make sense for my setting, but how do I not dress in this super casual way where I don't feel good or I don't feel cute anymore? And when we went shopping, we got to explore so many fun pieces that didn't feel over the top to her. So comfort was still key. We wanted to find pieces that felt comfortable. That was in her style statement, but she wanted things that felt good and got her excited to get dressed up and felt flirty. So the clothing that I shared with her was just enough to take her style up a notch without having her feel uncomfortable. On our shopping trip, we got a mix of cool, casual, and fun pieces, including some moss green leather pants, sweater jackets, and a neutral color palette. She discovered so many pieces to wear that she was excited to say yes to the next time she got invited out. And she got some great pieces too that were casual, so she could wear it in her day-to-day life, but then she could dress it up really easily with a snakeskin booty or a blouse that tied up. She had so many options. I think she purchased 15 to 17 really great foundation pieces that could easily be dressed up and dressed down for her life. And she was excited not only for evenings out with her friends, but she felt good in wearing her clothing all the time. And I hear that a lot from clients. Like instead of gravitating towards things that they used to wear, they feel so good and get so excited by the new things that they end up wearing those instead. So having new clothing gave her the confidence boost to start saying yes more often to her friends and getting out to create new memories in her life and experiences where she got to feel connected to others. Number 3, getting a job promotion. Dressing in a way that makes you feel powerful or like a leader is a great way to get noticed at work or even give you that right energy as you go about your day. You'll smile more, you'll start conversations, and you feel good about the meetings that you have with clients. When you have a speaking engagement or a big client meeting, wearing something that feels good makes a huge difference in how you stand, how you speak, and how you feel throughout that experience. So I've had so many scenarios with clients that got a job promotion or just felt better sharing their opinions and leading their team. With one client specifically, when we started a few years ago, she knew that the majority of her closet didn't fit who she was at this time in her life. She recently had 2 kids, she was reaching the next decade in her life, and she wanted to move away from frilly floral pieces that just felt too trendy. She wanted a newer style that felt sophisticated and put together. I've shopped with her for the past few years now, and seeing where she started with where she's at now is just, it's so beautiful. And I love the clients that we create this long-term relationship growing together because I've been able to see how her life has changed in the time that her style has changed as well. And she has owned this new place in her life completely. And it was a game changer. She got to the next level at work. She was stepping up her style game, and it helped her move up the ladder and become a leader in her industry. In her closet now, it's primarily all the new pieces that we've purchased together. She still has some things from the past because, I mean, some of the fun florally pieces like work so well when she goes on vacation, but she's not wearing that day to day anymore. When you find confidence in new pieces and styles that you wear, with time, you're able to expand more on it and continually try new things that feel really good. It opens up possibilities in your work life and allows you to take more risks. Number 4, dating profile pics. In the past couple of years, I've worked with many clients updating their dating profile pics. You have to see the blog post that my friend Andrea did of Icon Photo. You can see big changes we've made in clients' lives. I'm going to put the link below in the show notes so that you can see it. And the beauty about working with helping clients through finding what their style is for the dating profile pics is that it's so genuine. You want clothing that reflects you and your personality, your lifestyle. It's never about creating a persona or something that feels disconnected from you. So you don't want to try to like look a certain way or create the certain type of person or rent animals or whatever it is. I've heard so many crazy things from people. You just want to show up as yourself, showing up, doing the things you like to do, like who you really are, because that's the people that you want to attract. If you're showing a part of yourself that isn't real and then people ask you questions about it, that date is not going to go anywhere. So just like your dating profile should be really geared towards who you are, your style should too. As a stylist, my team and I find a balance between what you like, and then we take it up a notch to give you that extra boost in your style where it still feels natural to wear your things day to day. I recently worked with a client who never felt stylish. He was stuck in wearing t-shirts and jeans because that was his way of life. And as an introvert, some clients find it difficult to decide what to wear because they don't want to be like too out there or get too much attention. And some don't go out as much and they prefer being at home. So then when they do go out, they don't know exactly what to wear. And that was the case with this client. But he knew that he was ready to date. He wanted to meet someone, and he did have to get out of his home and his comfort level. He wanted to do things differently. So he was ready for this experience. When we started working together, he knew that he wanted help with the style, but his biggest concern was that if he has been only wearing t-shirt and jeans, how did he know if he was going to wear any of the other clothing. So it was a big risk for him investing in not only a personal shopper, but investing in all the clothing that he purchased. He was scared that when he saw all the clothing hanging in the closet, that instead of wearing every new piece he got, that he would just go back to the t-shirt and jeans. So as we shopped together, I was very intentional with reading his cues on how he felt and what he was trying on. Sometimes clients are very verbal and vocal about what they like and don't like, and I love that because it's so much easier to get feedback that way. But some clients, it takes them a little more to open up. So I have to read their cues. I have to ask them more questions to see how they're feeling in things. I also stuck with darker colors, and not in like black head to toe or anything, but I wanted like dark reds, dark greens. We got navy. I started with some darker colors and pieces that did feel more casual, but that he could easily dress up. Texture is also really important when it comes to casual wear for men because it creates more variety and depth in the look. So the goal with this shopping trip and every shopping trip is that everything that a client purchases is something that they're actually going to wear, that when they open their closet, they're going to pull that thing out and wear it. So months went by that I didn't hear from him, and I randomly received an email from him today that said, and I was actually surprised. I didn't expect it, but he just wrote me an email that said how thankful he was for the shopping experience. He told me that he made it a commitment to wear all of his new outfits every day leading up to the photo shoot so that he felt like they were natural, and he actually stopped wearing his other clothes ever since. So he booked his next appointment for shopping for spring because he said he's ready to continue building on his wardrobe, and that risk he took in working together became such a great experience for him. It was his email that actually sparked the inspiration for this entire episode / blog post today, because in the email he mentioned that how he had always heard about style boosting your confidence, but that he never really understood what that meant, or he never even felt it in his life because he didn't have style. And it wasn't until now that he started wearing his new clothing, that he went shopping, that he understands how impactful it has been for him. He said it changed his personal life and how he sees himself. And he's going out more often and getting comfortable and stepping out of his comfort zone. And this just, all the emails I get from clients just kind of blow me away because every story is so different in how it impacts them. And today we get to go through all the, well, not all the stories. There's so many. I just picked like the top 5 ways that style can boost your confidence and how it has boosted the confidence of my clients in the past. Number 5, to love yourself. If I told you that it could boost your confidence in parenting or how you show up for your kid, would you believe it? I worked with a client who reached out because he was recently divorced, and he realized that he hadn't been putting much thought into who he was as an individual. He put so much time into his relationship and marriage and caring for others that he forgot to take care of himself all these years. I think he was married about 10 years. And this included all the things from not putting thought into what he wore, to what he ate, to what he liked to do in his downtime. So when he reached out to me, he mentioned that he was doing this for his son. And I had never heard that before. I'd never had somebody call me and tell me that they needed help with their style because they wanted to do it for their child. Like, that really got to me. I was so interested in learning more about why. And he said that he wanted his son to see that as a man, you can take care of yourself and you could feel good doing it. So a lot of men in general, they do rely on their mom or their girlfriend or their wife to shop for them. And then they don't know when it's their time to do it alone, they don't know how to do it themselves. So it is very common for men to seek out a stylist because, I mean, also from a woman's perspective, knowing what looks good on them because they don't know sometimes. He also wanted to do this because his son's favorite color is pink. And he wants to show his son that as a man, You can wear pink and you can express who you are through what you wear. The clothing I helped him find was for his day-to-day life. There's nothing like overly fancy. It's just a great put together look of casual wear pieces and then some items that are slightly more dressed up for meeting with clients face to face. A few days after a shopping trip, I got an email from him and he thanked me on helping him find his style because he said he feels so good. And he reminded me about how important this journey has been for him to show up for his son, and that love that he has for his son is also making him show up differently for himself. He knows that he has to be an example for his son because his son is looking at how he takes care of himself, how he's eating, what he's doing. And he said that this is just the beginning of a journey of change and finding more about himself. And it's so interesting because the love that we have for our family and the people around us end up being the biggest why in our life as to why we want to take better care of ourselves. So the confidence to show up in the world and make a difference can just come for doing it and being a great example for the people around us and giving them the energy that they need also to show up. This is something that I do want to mention too, that you may be a confident person, you may be confident at work or as a parent or confident in your skills, but that boost of confidence is what gets you to the next level, to give you a new perception on yourself and how you go about life. Sometimes we need that extra push as a professional, like as a stylist. I get a hit of a confidence boost as I experiment with new color combinations. I take new classes on business and I get out of my own comfort zone all the time. I make it like very intentional that I want to try something new, because to experience something new in your life, you do have to try something new. And that means getting out of your comfort zone sometimes. My team is here to help you get to that next level. So if you've had it on your heart to start building a new wardrobe that fits your body, your style, and you, my team and I are here to make this happen. Working with a personal stylist online or in person will make shopping stress-free. All those hours you put into shopping online and making a ton of returns, or even spending money on pieces that don't quite work, can go away with just one session together. We style clients of all sizes all over the world and customize a look that fits your personal style. Book a discovery call at myclosetedit.com, or you can go into the show notes below and click the link and it'll take you directly there. We can shop for a whole new wardrobe if you need it, or just refresh it with new pieces to bring it back to life. Here's a review from Dan. I would have never thought that I would be someone who would hire a personal shopper, but after having Tanya help me put a new business casual wardrobe together, I am convinced it's one of the best decisions I've made. I usually hate shopping. It takes me hours to sort through so many racks of clothes, styles, cuts, and sizes, and most of what I would get to try on just didn't fit right, so I would get discouraged and frustrated. Tanya selected a lot of clothes for me to try out before I even arrived at the store and had them ready and waiting for me in a dressing room. As I tried on clothes, she adjusted her selection as we determined what worked and what didn't, and just about everything I tried on fit perfectly and looked great. Shopping was actually ... fun. I got about 15 to 20 different outfits, 3 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, 3 jackets, a pair of shoes, and a belt, and they were all within my budget. They perfectly suited my own style. Total time was about an hour and a half of trying clothes on. I highly recommend Tanya as your personal shopper, and you will not be disappointed. That review, I remember that time I spent with Dan. It was so fun, and he had a lot of questions. I love when clients have questions and they're curious about, like, how does this fit so well? Like, why does this color work on me? So it was just fun going through the process with him and answering his questions and helping him really hone in on finding a good foundation of his wardrobe to work with. Again, if you are interested in working together, you can book a discovery call. We can talk more about what your style goals are and solutions to help you feel and look your best. We have options that are in person and online, so you can go to myclosetedit.com to book directly, or you can go to the link in the show notes below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I love sharing these behind the scenes tips and stories on how I help clients find their style and update their wardrobe. There are a lot of little parts that come together to make it happen, and I hope that sharing this with you gives you a new way to view the world of style. It would mean a lot to me if you could just take some time, go to the podcast and rate it with a 5-star review, and you can share with me what you learned today. It makes a big difference in being able to continue reaching more people through the podcast and helping others. Continue building a life and style that truly reflects you. I'll catch you next time.